Hey class, what we're talking about today is we are continuing our discussion about rotations. So this is day 2 of rotations. Here is the date. You should have this paper here cut out from last class and also have the cutouts that I gave you today. Alright. So last time what we talked about is we talked about shapes having rotational symmetry. So that was where we were taking shapes and turning them a certain number of degrees until they landed back on top of themselves. Here's some of the examples that we did in class. So we looked at how many times you could take this shape and rotate it at 60 degrees and have it line up. Okay, and we made all these lists. So that's rotational symmetry. Today what we're doing is we're actually taking shapes and we're going to start rotating them. And we're going to start by doing this in the coordinate plane. So this says, and you might want to kind of refer back to this video when you get started on your homework, because there's some certain steps that kind of help us work through this, through rotating this. So whenever you have, this is a compass, so you guys should have one of these on your desk. If you don't have one, they're on the shelf by the scissors and glue. This compass makes circles for us. And the nice thing about a circle is that whenever you make a circle, all of the points in that circle are on the outside of the circle are the same distance from the center. So what we're going to do here is we are going to make a circle. We're going to center it. We're going to use the pointy end, center it at the origin, and we're going to put it out until it's at A. All right. Let's see, I think I need to make my lead a little longer here. Okay. So we're going to have the pointy end at the origin, and you're going to have it out at A. You can draw a little circle around. It doesn't have to be very dark. We're just going to be, this is just kind of like your work. Okay. So pointy end at the origin, you line this up with A. Now, all of the points on this circle are the same distance from the origin. Same distance from the origin. So this is A's 2 away. All of these points around here are 2 away from the origin. What they ask us to do is they ask us to do a 90-degree clockwise. Clockwise is this direction, in case you forget. So the way we do this is we want to go clockwise. So we know that our shape is going to move this direction. It's going to move from here. It's going to move this direction. We want to go 90 degrees. Okay, that's like not quite halfway around. Halfway around would be here. It is a fourth of the way around. So you might be able to, after you kind of get the hang of this, you might be able to eyeball it. If you can't, though, you line this up with the origin and with point A. So you line it up with the origin and point A. You go to 90 degrees, which is right here, and you put the point on the circle right there. Okay, what we did is we went 90, this is 90 degrees. We went a quarter of the way around this circle. So if you want some steps, you can write some steps out down here. Step number 1, draw a circle. Centered at the origin. With radius to A, or I should say to point. So you make your circle. The next thing you do is you use a protractor to find the desired number of degrees. And you put your point on the circle. Okay, you might need to pause the video at this time to get those all written down. But those are our steps that we're working through. Okay, so I'm going to slide back up. We do the same thing with point B. So we're going to take our protractor, we're going to extend it out because we have to get it centered at the origin, to B. Alright, so pointy end here, our pencil in at B. You line this up and you make a circle. Once again, circle doesn't have to be very dark, it's just for us to work with. Okay, now we're going to take and you put the protractor at the origin, and you line it up with B like this. Okay, you got B on this line and the origin. Origin's right at that point on the bottom of your protractor. Okay, you'll line those up, and at 90 degrees, it looks like it's right here. Okay, remember it has to be on the circle at that degree mark. So far we have our A prime, B prime, and we do the same thing for C. So I'm going to extend my protractor out. C's a little bit further away. Okay, center at the origin. Out to C, you draw a circle. Okay. And we want to go 90 degrees clockwise, so we line it up with C like this. We're going clockwise to 90, and let's see. We're working with the outermost circle now, so you put that at C. Here's 90, but we need it on our circle, so it's right out here, okay, on the circle. And when you draw in your triangle, it should be the same size and shape as the original. All right, so same size and shape. Okay, so we graphed that one. We won't do the counterclockwise one, but it works a very similar way. Instead of lining your protractor up this way, where you measure 90 degrees this way, you flip it around. Once again, this little point's always at the origin. You measure this direction 90 degrees, okay, from each of your points around your circle. Okay. If you have a question with that, make sure you let me know. So we found that this triangle and this triangle are the same shape. So we can conclude that rotations are an isometry. Okay, and that means that they're the same size and shape. We talked about this, I think it was the first day of this unit, right there. Okay, isometry. Pre and post image are congruent. Okay. Congruent images. Okay, I'd like you to glue this one down. I'm just going to do one of these with you, and then you guys will have the exit slip to do. Looks like I'm going to have to go to the back. Okay, so go ahead and glue this down. Okay, we just did a 90-degree clockwise case. That's going to work very similar. I'd like to try the 180. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. This says rotate the polygon clockwise around the point P the given number of degrees. So instead of having a coordinate plane, now we just have a point P and we have a shape. So you're going to treat point P just like it's the origin. So when you go to make your circle, make this a little smaller here. I'm just going to start with A. Might as well start at the beginning of the alphabet. You go the pointy end on P, the lead end on A, and you make a circle. Okay, sometimes it helps to make your lead a little different length. Okay. If you want to, you can go ahead and make your circle with B and C. I'm going to do one at a time. You now take your protractor. We want to go 180 degrees clockwise. So we want to put the center here as the origin and line it up with point A. And clockwise is this direction. Okay? Going this direction. Had it said counterclockwise, we'd line it up like this so that we can measure the degrees this direction. Okay. So we are up here. We want to go 180 degrees. 180 degrees is this entire protractor. Okay? It's going all the way around. And so you want to go all the way around and put your point on the circle. This is A prime. You're going to extend your protractor out. I'm going to line it up with B. Make your circle. And 180 degrees, once again, we're going clockwise. It's just directly across the circle from there. Make sure this is at the center. And once again, all the way around out here. Okay, this is B prime. We just have one more to do. The reason we do the circle is because whenever you do a rotation, the shape ends up the same distance away from P as it started out. And the circle helps us with the same distance because the radius of the circle stays the same. What it does is it keeps us from having to do a lot of measuring. So we could do this using measuring, but it's much more tedious. So this just keeps us from having to measure a whole bunch. All right, got my circle here at C. Gonna line this up, the center at P, the edge lined up with C there. And we're doing 180 degrees. We're on the furthest out circle now. That's C prime. And when you draw in your shape, it should always be the same size and shape as the original, okay, or as close as possible. All right. If you have any questions, please ask. I think this is one of those subjects where if I go through, me going through examples, they're probably not going to help you too much. What's really going to help you is actually taking the time and practicing this. I'd highly recommend that you go ahead and get started. Do the exit slip and have it checked. But get started on your homework in class. That way you have, protractor, compass, everything that you need to get your homework completed. Once again, if you have any questions, please ask me. All right. Thank you for watching.